Ted Cruz is wonderful at reading children's fairy tales on the Senate floor.
Sam, I am.
Rick Santorum spent his time in the Senate a little differently.
That is part of a new ad from GOP presidential candidate Rick Santorum as he aggressively campaigns in Iowa, where the first votes will be cast in this election just a few weeks from now. It is a state he won the last time around in 2012. The former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum joins us now. He is a Republican presidential candidate. So that new ad, the first one your campaign has put out there, obviously takes shots at Ted Cruz right off the top. He's leading in the polls in Iowa. Is he your #1 competition?
Well, I mean, we're contrasting really generally with all of the other candidates out there who really don't have the experience to take on the challenges that confront this country, particularly the national security threats. I mean, these are real. I mean, you're reporting on it all day today, and it's only ramping up. And as we hear, it's only going to get worse under this administration because this president is not going to protect America. He's not going to lead. He's not going to defend us. And the next president's going to come in with potentially the world at war. And that's what we're trying to get, the seriousness of this election. And going up in this election in November against Hillary Clinton, a former Secretary of State, former First Lady, someone who's very steeped in this type of policy, it would behoove us to actually nominate someone who can go toe-to-toe and have a record of accomplishment on these areas and the ability to chart a course based on knowledge and experience.
Well, the last time around when you won Iowa, you were billed as the evangelical conservative candidate, the social issues candidate. Now you say that national security issues are front and center in your campaign?
I wish last time around when I talked about national security as I did, because when I left the United States Senate, I'd left at a time when we were at war, and I was someone who authored sanctions on Iran. The Iranian sanctions, the nuclear sanctions, I authored those when I was in Congress and actually overcame President Bush's initial opposition to get them passed. I authored sanctions on Syria. I was someone who worked on the Armed Services Committee to outfit our military to take on these asymmetric threats. And when I left the United States Senate, I didn't spend 4 years working on moral and cultural issues. I spent 4 years at a think tank talking about radical Islam and lecturing all over this country about the threat of radical Islam because I saw that as the most pressing threat to our national security and to our national well-being. So 4 years ago when I was running, I talked about those things. But none of you guys wanted to talk. Nobody else wanted to talk about it because, oh, the war was over, bin Laden was dead, you know, we're taking our troops out of Iraq, everything's going to be great. Many of us were saying that's not the case. I called for us to get involved in Syria back in 2011. Again, most did not do so. So I was active and involved in these issues, but they weren't important in the eyes of America because Americans felt, I think, unfortunately, too safe, given this administration's record. Now it is a big issue, and here I am.
What is your assessment of the administration record on, the world situation?
It's I can't think of a disaster as too kind of a word. This president has ruined every single relationship. You look at the Saudis as the most recent example. The reason the Saudis are reacting the way they're reacting right now is because they don't believe America is our ally, a reliable ally anymore. They don't believe that America is going to be there for them. And every one of our allies feels that way. Israel, obviously, you look at the Saudis, look at the way we've treated Israel. Look at the way we've dealt with our allies in Egypt at the time. And we allowed Egypt, our ally there, to be overthrown by the Muslim Brotherhood. And we continue, even to this day, to support the Muslim Brotherhood coming back in Egypt instead of someone who wants to work with us to fight ISIS, to fight radical Islam. So the president has been on the wrong side. Has been on the side in this conflict between Saudi Arabia and Iran. He's trying to take a position of mediating. Iran is our enemy. Iran says they want to take over the world for radical Islam. Saudi Arabia has at least tried to partner with us and work in cooperation. And again, we won't take sides when it comes to those who are clearly have interests adverse to the United States and those who have been our reliable allies in the past. That's why our enemies don't fear us, and that's why our allies don't respect us and trust us.
Let's get back to the Iowa caucuses coming up in less than a month. Last time around, 30 days out, you were not in the front running. You went on to win Iowa. But I wonder if this time around...
I was at 3 or 4% at this point 4 years ago.
All right. But I wonder if your victory last time potentially could hurt you in that voters say in Iowa, look, we gave him the ball last time. He didn't carry it across the goal line. Why should we trust him again?
Well, they didn't quite hand me the ball. If you recall on election night, we didn't win on election night. We actually lost on election night. It was in 3 weeks until, and even after that, not winning, coming in second, and Mitt Romney sort of having won Iowa, at least initially, and won New Hampshire, the race was considered over because no one had lost Iowa, won Iowa and New Hampshire, and not won the nomination. So we fought back from that, from the presumption. They made with all the money, everything going in, and we still were able to almost grab the nomination. We came within a hair in a couple of states, Michigan and Ohio, of really ending this race and winning this race. So I would say that we've actually shown we can overcome adversity and take on the establishment and defeat the establishment. So that's what people are looking for, someone who can take the establishment on and win. I'm the guy to do it.
We'll see what the voters say.
Thank you very much,
Senator
John.
Rick Santorum, thank you.